I think we are live. So, hello, Dream Warriors family and FFJ family. How are we? So glad to be back again with our Bob Proctor hot tips. So, if you're watching live, please comment below #live. And if you're watching a replay, please comment below #replay so that we know that you are watching and so we can engage with you and help you with any questions that you have. So, Ren, you wanted to get a start? What we're doing here with the Bob Proctor's hot tip today?
Oh, I'm so excited. This all started from our challenge not that long ago for those friends that were there. And it was about how are we getting our goals in 2023 and that new year, new life energy. So this is a check-in with that, as well as, how do we use this amazing teachings from Bob Proctor in our lives, making sure we're implementing it for a very happy, joyous, successful 2023.
Absolutely. So if you are watching, please let us know where are you tuning in from. We love to know. And so let's revisit what's our goal, what's our intention that we set at the beginning of this year. So it's now quarter 1's finished. And so we are about to stepping into quarter 2. And so let's see are you on track? Really have a little check-in with yourself to see, am I on track with my goal? And normally what we remember in the New Year, New Life challenge that we talk about with 3 types of goals. So we have A-type goal that you already know how to achieve it. And then we have a B-type goal that is kind of a settle. You have not achieved, but you have a beautiful plan how to achieve it. But it's kind of like not really stretching you enough. And so C-type goal is really what do you really want in this life? So we only got one life to live in this physical world, right? We definitely have a birthday and we will definitely have a death day. And there's only very limited amount of time that we have in this physical realm to really make a difference in this world. And what do you really want in this lifetime? So put in the comments, let us know what is your vision for this year, what is your deep desire for this year. You probably let's stretch it just for 1 year from now, so that is easy for us to visualize it and to see it. And so then we break it down into quarterly goals, right? We break it down into the quarter 1. Maybe if you wanted to achieve 100K a year, then you probably break it down to, if you wanted to say kind of like incremental increase, then maybe the first quarter you want to have, I don't know, break it down into maybe 30K in first quarter. And then the second quarter, maybe 40K. And the third quarter, maybe 50K. And then maybe 60K the last quarter. Then you will see yourself how you're progressing and exceeding every single quarter, and you're making a progress. And also come up with a plan. What action plan do you have in place? And how are you tracking with your action plan? And for us, we did one challenge, right? So how are we track? So that's why we're bringing here and say, well, we had a great start of the year, and what are we doing to keep that momentum going? So that's why we will be here every single week this in April, and to answer any of your questions, to help you course correct and come back to Bob Proctor's amazing teaching.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Well, this quarter 1 was phenomenal. You know, we had the blast kicking off our challenge. We heard some amazing participant goals. So if any of our participants in the challenge are watching this, you know, update. And that's the thing, is just to check in whether you did or did not reach your goals. Is it something that, you know, you're excited about, that you're still going for? Just because you didn't make it, you know, when you thought you might, doesn't mean that you need to give up. So it's that recommitment is also a huge part of goals, and to check in to know you're going to be going for it, and maybe looking at the things that, you know, got in the way of you getting your goals and looking at what can be different in quarter 2 to set you up so you still have a fantastic 2023.
That's right. I love how you talk about the recommitment. So even though we are human, right? So we might sometimes, you know, not did what we said we would do, but it's always every single day is a brand new baby day. And we always come back and do what we really wanted to do and recommit to what we do. And yeah, so was so amazing. Some of the Dream Warriors family that we were able to meet in San Diego, and the FFJ families we will be able to, you know, meet in San Diego. So that was just so nice in this community building. So all we wanted to do here is to support you in achieving your goal. And I'm just super excited, like my client's achievement. She just 4 or 5 times her income in just 2 months time. And she signed a contract worth of 167 or 176. I can't remember which way it goes, but it's like phenomenal amount of contract, and just pretty much turn her annual income into monthly income and continuously turning monthly into weekly. And now she converting her car, the mobile home, and installing a satellite dish. And so she can travel and work only 4 hours a day to keep things going. Everything achieved before we even finish the program.
Oh, that is so awesome. Well, congratulations. And I think this is, you know, a nice pattern for you. And that's like the thing of why we wanted to bring out Bob Proctor's teaching, is like, this is so replicatable. And this guy's been doing it, or, you know, he's passed, though, you know, he spent over 50 years studying this stuff, and it worked just as well before we were born. He was teaching it, and you know, after he's gone, it's still very replicatable, practical. And one of my favorite things is we're talking about goals, and Bob's voice is there in my mind, and he's like, the true purpose of a goal is to grow.
That's right.
And, you know, the money's great and all that, though it's what you come into as yourself. And that's the bigger, you know, side of this part, is we go for our goals and the things we think we want, though it's who we are in the process that's the true winning.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ren, would you like to share a little bit something that you learned from the You Were Born Rich book through our You Were Born Rich mastermind? So
Sure.
what your key takeaway and learning from that?
Yeah, it's been wonderful, you know, committing to more of Bob Proctor since Alex came into my life. And Bob Proctor, I was already listening and talking about it, and now I'm like, okay, so I'm making the commitment to listen to Bob Proctor stuff like every day. And so in this, going through his book, you know, and taking just a chapter a month and studying it has been so great, especially that repetition. So the first thing in there is we talk about goals, which is where we're bringing out today. And that's where, you know, the more that I can talk about it and explain it, that's what, you know, on the bigger side, that's how you know when you know stuff. So as you learn, it's about how do you integrate, explain, and then use. So setting those goals, I know on you actually in your mastermind, I realized that my money goal was actually hanging out in the A or B type goals it was not a C-type money goal. And I'm like, oh, well, it was interesting, and my brain could see that and then look at, oh, okay, I can stretch in because that C-type is not the, realistic calculating side.
Yeah, so good. We live in this physical world, and to live the life we really want, first of all, you need to design the life first, and then design your work to fit in your life, not to choose what work do you do, what you can do, and then fit your life into the work that you're doing. That's majority, the 97% of the people are doing. But that's the wrong way. So what we need trying to educate and also help people in our Dream Warriors and FFJ family is to really have a look at what kind of life that you want to live. What's the way that you wanted to travel? How often do you want to travel? And what kind of work, talent, and ability that you wanted to contribute in return to receive your financial reward? And also, what's the money and time freedom that you want? And what are you going to do with the money that you earn, right? So we look at all those elements and what kind of relationship that you want to have, what kind of health that you want to have, how many hours do you want to work? We look at all those elements, and then we design those elements first, and then we looking, okay, so if I just wanted to work 4 hours a day, and what can I do? And I wanted to travel. So that means that you wanted to do something that it's mobile, that you can work online. And so that's, you see how we work engineer into what kind of work would be suitable for you, what will use your talent and ability the most. Because you want to do something that you really enjoy, because you only got one life to live. You don't want to do something like what I did before, was an accountant. It's like 8 or 9 hours of my day was doing something I didn't like, was just trying to please my parents and to achieve their dreams. That wasn't a life to me, wasn't life-giving to me. What I really want, I asked that big question, what do I really want? I really wanted to make an impact. I really wanted to empower people. I love seeing people grow. What was missing was the fulfillment. I really wanted to have that fulfillment of seeing people achieving their goals. And so that's, you start to design what you do every day to fit in the life that you design, right? So and then we live in this physical world, and everything got a price tag, right? Everything has a price tag. Then you start to look at, if you wanted to travel 3 times a year, and first of all, design where do you want to travel? And then look at, well, what's the price tag to travel? So you got an airfare, where do you want to stay? Then you look at the accommodation, and then you look at the things that you wanted to do. Everything has a price tag. So if you want to travel the first class, first of all, you got to check out what's the price tag for the first class, right? If you want to stay in a 5-star hotel, then you got to check the price tag of that particular hotel. So that is when we talk about, you got to be very specific. And so that it's when we do that, then we start to design it, and you start to see it very specifically. That is the hotel. Hotel Del is the hotel that I'm staying, right? And so we start to do this, and you make it really visual, and you know exactly what's the price tag for that. And then you have the exact amount that you want to manifest by the end of the quarter 2. So that is how, I love how Bob Proctor was talking about how much is enough. We went through that exercise, right? Would you like to talk about it, Gwen?
Sure, that was fun. That was last month, and then, and actually, by the way, there's one coming up soon. So if anyone is very interested, your first one is free. So you can come and check it out. And so last month when we talked about it, that's where when we went through the exercise and to come up with, what is the dream budget? And it's such a different realm, because usually when people start to think about budgeting, you think, oh, I have this much, and how do you squeeze this in? And that's most people. And if you see that visual, you kind of scrunch. That's what a lot of people do. And so when you flip things around, and like Proctor's teachings are flipping it, what if everything that you were doing could actually be done a different way that's more effective and more fun and joyous? And so that's where in this budgeting exercise, instead of going all scrunched, it's like, how much do you want? And then that's when I got very clear on, and this is also, I'll say, this is when I realized it was an A and B type goal, is because I was like, okay, well, I want $5,000 a month for my groceries. I want $5,000 a month to go out to eat. I want $5,000 a month for my chef to come in and cook my food for me in my house with my groceries. And then I want another $5,000 a month for someone that actually will come and do the cleaning and the, yard work and stuff. So I'm sitting there like at 20 grand. And then so that sounds like a big budget just for like luxury stuff, right? And then that's when I realized, those are my realistic luxury numbers. A chef for $5,000 a month, that's a logical thing in my mind. Though the C type goal would be like, well, wouldn't I want the best chef, or to reward the chef really nice? Like, instead of, he has to live, I'm saying he though, whoever it is, has to live on, a couple $1,000s a month. And then it's like, why don't I share the abundance? Like, they could have a really high paying salary and come in and cook nice food, or this or that. Or my staff, like my cleaning person, why do I need to think about paying her a little bit? Why can't I think about having this huge budget and being able to pay more? So it just realizes your thought on abundance, the more bigger that I get, the more impact of other people that I get to have as well.
Yeah, you could have a restaurant, right?
That's actually one of my dream buildings things. I'm like, oh, that's a recipe for my restaurant.
Hey, so that is really the only limit is the limit in our mind, in our imagination. So if you can imagine like having all those resources and all those abundance around you, and have like a 5-star restaurant at your backyard, and why not, right? So it's just really allowing ourselves to really get there, imagine that, and design our life from there. So I hope that has been helpful for our Dream Warriors and FFJ family. And so, yeah, if we have our You Were Born Rich Mastermind coming up on let me see, do you know the day? I think it's coming
next
up
Friday. For us US people, it's Friday evening. For the Australian folks like Alex, it is Saturday, like midday.
Next week. It's only 5 days time. Wow, my gosh. Yes, so I'm going to drop the link in the chat after this. And so if you would like to register and come in and have a discussion about the You Were Born Rich, and you're welcome to join us. And the first session is completely for free, and come and study together with us and mastermind with us. There's so much learning in it. So we are on chapter 3 this next Friday. And then we are going to talk about the image maker. So if you have not downloaded the You Were Born Rich book yet, and I'm going to drop the link as well. So make sure you download the You Were Born Rich book. And so we are on chapter 3, the image maker. We're going to dive into what changes that we need to make in order for us to achieve our goal. So I look forward to seeing you all in our mastermind, You Were Born Rich Mastermind. So it's happening next Friday. Do you remember the time, Ren?
I believe it's 6 o'clock. We have time changes, so I know it's in the evening. Though for sure it's in the evening, Friday evening, next Friday. And so we will see you there. And the image maker is so awesome because as we talk about goals, well, what's blocking it? And that's, we talk about the subconscious, though it's the image maker is how we start to work with that subconscious. So it's a different way of getting our goals, and it's super awesome. So this is where we love talking about Bob Proctor stuff, and you're more than welcome to join us next week live in the mastermind. And we'll also be here live in our Facebook groups for the month of April. And if you like it, we might keep it going too. Though just to have fun sharing some amazing stuff that we love about Bob Proctor and are inspired to keep that going, because I truly believe that this is one of the greatest teachers on earth, or well, not even on earth anymore, though he's left that ripple. And to have this human development in our mind that's just phenomenal. And it's like the elite business training that all the corporations have been using and the sales stuff. So it's like, okay, well, now us entrepreneurs and business owners can have access to it as well. And it doesn't need to be a corporate training thing exclusively. So that's where it's awesome. Alex is in your home hanging out and doing Bob Proctor with you.
Absolutely. So that is so awesome. I absolutely love Bob Proctor's teaching. It's bringing into each and everyone's home. And that is our PGI's vision for all of us to have access to this information so that you can also 4 or 5 times your income in 2 months time. Why not, right? Life is short. Why do you have to imagine that to take 5 years, 10 years? Why not just do it in 2 months? So if someone can do it, Rose can do it, you guys can do it as well. So coming and join us on the You Were Born Rich Mastermind next Friday. We're going to put the time and all the registration link there as well. And so, yeah, if you have any questions, we are here to support you, to help you, to create the momentum and keep the momentum going and make 2023 fantastic and strong.
So reach out. You're always welcome to DM Alex or myself. If you want to talk Bob Proctor, just put a little Bob Proctor in there so we know, it's in reference to this stuff. And Alex also is so kind to give you the Bob Proctor Born Rich book. Like, you can get the ebook and start reading. So whether or not you come to the mastermind live, definitely read this book and do the commitment like what we're doing. It's like every single month a different chapter, and it's that repetition that Bob teaches, and that's where everyone will see a huge difference being made.
Yeah, and if you like us to come on every week, please let us know, drop in the comment, blow out the comments for us so that we can receive your love and know that you love having us to come on and encourage you and help you to keep the momentum going. So that will be greatly appreciated if you can leave us some love as well. So with that, we're going to close for today's Bob Proctor's hot tip sessions for this week. And we look forward to seeing you next week, the same time. And also, don't forget to download the You Were Born Rich ebook and come to our You Were Born Rich Mastermind next Friday. Bye for now. Love to you all. Bye.